I had to deal with the Catholic question when we decided to register my oldest child as a student in the local Catholic school. It was really our best option at the time. I had my concerns. I wasn't excited about it. I was very wary of having her receive a Catholic education just because of where I was at the time, where my thoughts were and my heart was. So I began to study Catholicism at that time so that I could sort of prevent her from becoming Catholic. And I was really afraid that she would be indoctrinated, and I didn't want that for her. So as I began studying Catholicism, I found a lot of my own questions being answered. Things that, I had been questioning since childhood were getting answered. And then specifically, I found out about Eucharistic Adoration. And I was able to visit an adoration chapel in September 2014. And the Lord gave me the great grace of allowing me to experience His presence in the Eucharist in a very powerful way, very palpable way, and a very life-changing way. And that's really the story of my conversion. It sort of started with the call to the chapel. I was supposed to go have a fun mom's day out. I had a gift card to a really great store, and it was a beautiful Saturday in September. And when I should have gone left to get on the freeway, I just felt called to that chapel. It was just so strong. Almost irresistible, but not quite. So I turned right instead of turning left, and I parked, and I had learned some etiquette about how to go in there because I was reading about the church in general, but specifically about this church campus. I was trying to learn it because my daughter was going to be there, and I saw this chapel was there and had been open and run by volunteers since 1998, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, except for the Triduum. Well, Good Friday, I guess, to Easter Sunday, which I thought was so impressive and so moving, really, even as a non-Catholic, as a non-believer at all. I thought that was very impressive. So I knew where it was, and I had learned, if you're going to go there, what do? And you genuflect on 2 knees. And I didn't know why, but I didn't want to be rude, So I parked and I walked, and you had to ring a buzzer, and a man let me in, and I came in and I genuflected, and there were some people in there. And I sat kind of towards the back to the right side, and sat down, and I actually started counting my breath, which was a Buddhist technique I had learned. I didn't have a prayer. I didn't know a formal prayer at that time to pray, and I hadn't been talking to God, and I don't think I was expecting to meet God there. I thought of it more as a spiritual space to meditate, I think is what I thought I was going to do. So I sat and kind of counted my breath, and I did not get far, and I felt just this crushing presence. I felt that I was actually supposed to lie down, but I was too self-conscious to do that. So I literally put my hands on the pew, and it sounds unpleasant, like this was an unpleasant crushing feeling, but it actually was, it felt like I was being crushed by love. I heard this heart beating in my ears, and I heard these words in my head echoing over and over, I'm with you always, I'm with you always, I'm with you always. And I was remembering all these scenes in my life when I had been afraid that I was just so outside of God's grace that, I was a hopeless case. And as I'm remembering these things and I'm hearing I'm with you always, the message kind of in my heart was, I was never not with you, even then, and even then, and even then, including times when I, passed out drunk or, just every memory, I was never not there. He's saying to me, and this went on for, I think 20 or 30 minutes. It was a long time. And that kind of, in the most beautiful sense of the word, turned my life upside down. I went home after that, and I have to try to explain to my husband what had just happened. I cried for a long time. To have that kind of love when you've been lacking in love for so many years, I can't really explain that, but it is a grace.